on the transfer market. And so guys, stay tuned because updates are here, stories are here. And so several discussions will take place in the next hours. So stay tuned, especially on Tottenham. Very soon we will understand more about Tottenham and so the situation of Savinho, Marmoush and more. So stay tuned on that story on all the channels because conversations are ongoing. Don't forget Savinho and Cody Gakpo priority targets for the winger, Omar Marmoush for the striker position. Backup names are, for example, Pedro Neto and also the situation to follow for Nico Jackson. But at the moment these are backup. So let's see what's going to happen there. Here we go today for Benfica, because João Palinha is joining Benfica from Bayern. Deal agreed between the clubs for 14 million euros plus 5 in advance. João Palinha set to travel to Portugal for medical test and contract signing. So good luck to João Palinha, who returns to Portugal after reaching a verbal agreement with Aston Villa, but no agreement. Bayern Villa only wanted to do a loan deal. Bayern wanted a permanent exit, and so this is why Palinha is going to Benfica. Official also João Cancelo to Barcelona, was never in doubt, as I told you. So also another opportunity for João Cancelo to return, in this case, to Barcelona. And then, as I was telling you guys, keep an eye on the situation of Savinho, because if Savinho leaves Manchester City, the name that Manchester City want to bring in at winger position is Alan Andrade Elias. 22-year-old, born in April 2004. He's a Brazilian winger, a player that has a big race clause at Palmeiras, around 100 million euros. But my understanding is that the deal could be done for way less than this transfer fee, probably in the middle of, I would say, 30, 35, 40 million euros, let's say between 30 and 40. There will be conversations. Palmeiras want to keep the player, but the player wants to go to Manchester City. The player wants to fulfill the dream of playing in Premier League, so there will be conversations between Alan, his agents, Palmeiras and Manchester City to try make this deal work. The conversation is ongoing already, and so Alan is a serious option for Manchester City at winger position. I told you, Man City will replace Savinho as Savinho leaves, and now the name is Alan. So let's follow that situation. More to say, guys, also about the situation of Manchester United. Today, it's finally the end of almost a known story, because I received tons of questions coming from you about Miles Lewis-Kelly. Over the last weeks, over the last days, Lewis-Kelly offered to Man United, Lewis-Kelly offered to Chelsea, Man United in negotiations for Lewis-Kelly. I was never ever reporting anything about the story for one reason. Miles Lewis-Kelly is really Arsenal through and through. Miles Lewis-Kelly wants to stay at Arsenal. Miles Lewis-Kelly is considered by Mikel Arteta himself as a crucial part of the Arsenal project. Left back, midfielder, can cover different positions, very young, talented, with big room for improvement, a proper Arsenal kid. So there is no reason at all in this case to consider an exit of Miles Lewis-Kelly. And finally, Mikel Arteta today goes to the press ahead of the Premier League start and says Miles Lewis-Kelly will 100% stay with us. Mikel Arteta takes a very clear position, closed doors to these links with Manchester United. What's the reality? Is that obviously Man United were trying to understand the situation if there was a room for negotiation. The reality is that Man United were trying to understand if there was a possibility. But from the player, the answer was always Arsenal. And as I told you in my videos, the only way to see Lewis-Kelly to Manchester United or any other club was only if Arsenal decided to put the player up for sale. But this didn't happen. So at the moment, again, was nothing really concrete or serious. Manchester United, they keep working on Carlos Balde for the midfield. There are contacts again today to try close this deal as soon as possible with Brighton after the agreement already done a long time ago with the player. So Manchester United are pushing and working hard for Carlos Balde. My feeling is that this deal will happen. Manchester United are confident, the player wants to go, Manchester United share a good relationship with Brighton, so obviously they need to negotiate, they need to discuss, but could be any moment, could be today, tomorrow, we will see in terms of timing. The market sometimes can be slower or faster, this depends on several factors, but what's really important to mention is that Manchester United remain hyper confident about signing Carlos Balde. And then, as we're talking about Manchester United, I want to drop you something more. I told you Manchester United are looking for a left back. There is a possibility Manchester United go for a left back in the final 10 days of the summer transfer window. I expect Man United to sign a left back. They wanted Lewis Hall, was not possible to proceed because Newcastle don't want to sell the player. Something I can reveal to you today, according to my information, is that Manchester United, just to keep you posted on how United are looking for left backs, Manchester United made a call to Jorge Mendes, the agent of Alejandro Balde, to understand the situation of the Spanish left back at Barcelona. Today, Jorge Mendes has arrived in Barcelona to discuss especially about exits. He was there for Joao Cancelo arrival, but not only. Marc Casado, for example, is a client of Jorge Mendes, and they have to decide about his next destination because he's leaving Barcelona. And Alejandro Balde was a situation. Barcelona and Balde share a great relationship. Balde is a Barca boy. Balde, in principle, doesn't want to leave Barcelona. Balde would go only if it's Barcelona telling Balde, okay, you can go, we can sell you. But Balde, in principle, wants to stay at Barcelona and continue at Barcelona. Then we have to see what happens, because in case of big proposal, I don't know what's going to happen. For sure, what I can mention is that there is a conversation that took place between Man United and Jorge Mendes to understand the situation around the boy. So let's see what's going to happen there. Let's see if Man United decide to go for him. There are more options, also cheaper, obviously, because Balde would be expensive. But this is just something behind the scenes to let you know how sometimes there are opportunities, how there are possibilities, and how Manchester United are looking for that position. Let me clarify two more things on Barcelona, as I'm receiving many questions on these names. First name, Lautaro Martinez. At the moment, guys, I don't have any information about the negotiation started. Inter have not received any call or any bid from Barcelona. Inter want to keep Lautaro. So Inter are very relaxed at this point. Then, if Barcelona arrive, bid, and something changes, I will let you know. But as of today, Inter remain very relaxed and Inter count on Lautaro Martinez. So they don't want him to go. And then, second point, Livakovic. I told you yesterday on Livakovic that the idea of Barcelona would be sign the player from Fenerbahce, send him on loan for 1 season, and then bring him to the club in 2027 because Szczesny will go in 1 year. But this remains the plan, but there is still nothing done with Fenerbahce. Today, many reports about agreement Barcelona-Fenerbahce. From what I understand, still no agreement Barcelona-Fenerbahce, because Barcelona, first of all, want to clarify priority deals to do in the next days, and then will clarify if they will get Livakovic, and also they need to decide where to send Livakovic on loan. I don't think will be Dinamo Zagreb. Many reports about Dinamo Zagreb loan. I think there are more options, so it's not guaranteed that it's going to be Dinamo Zagreb, so it's still early stages of the Livakovic deal. It's an idea, as I told you yesterday, but still early stages. So guys, on this and much more, we have to keep you updated in the next hours, so stay tuned here on the channel. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell,